Krishna for me so that I get some energy before the class. Is everyone able to see the screen? Okay, welcome everyone. Today's Bhagavad Gita class, and especially today's Mandal Rajal Ekadashi, so it's a very auspicious occasion to gather and listen some Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so we'll chant the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapatakamalам Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunam Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Name Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachyatya Veshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gauratvishre Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarobhyascha Kripasindhubhya eva cha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lankarite Yat Kripa Pramaham Shri Guru Dinakayana Paramananda Shri Chaitanya Hare Krishna. So we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 23rd Shloka. Please repeat after me. Gata Sangasya Muktasya Jnana Vastita Chetasaha Yajñācharataha Karma Samagram Pravidiyate Gata Sangasya Muktasya Gyatva ज्ञान आवस्थित चेतसा यज्ञात् यज्ञाचरत कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते गतसंगस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः यज्ञाचरत कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते. Someone would like to decide? गतसंगस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः यज्ञायाचरत कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते. गतसंगस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः यज्ञायाचरत कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते. माताजी. गतसंगस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः यज्ञाचरत कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते. Okay, go from one to one. Gatasangasya, of one unattached to the modes of material nature. Muktasya, of the liberated. Jnanavasthita, situated in transcendence. Chetasaha, whose wisdom. Yajnaya, for the sake of yajna, Krishna. Acharataha, acting. Karma, work. Samagram, in total. Praviliyate, merges entirely. Translation. The work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature and who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendent. Becoming fully Krishna conscious, one is freed from all dualities and thus is free from the contamination of the material modes. He can become liberated because he knows his constitutional position in relationship with Krishna, and thus his mind cannot be drawn from Krishna consciousness. Consequently, whatever he does for Krishna, who is primeval Vishnu. Therefore, all his works are technically sacrifices, because sacrifice aims at satisfying the Supreme Person Vishnu, Krishna. The resultant reaction to all such work certainly merge into transcendence, and one does not suffer material hurts. Hare Krishna. So, thank you once again for joining in the Bhagavad Gita session. So, this chapter 4, right? So, anyone knows what's the name of this chapter? Yeah, it's called Transcendental Knowledge, right? So this Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 parts. The first 6 chapters deals with Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga. The second 6, from 7 to 12, relates to Bhakti Yoga. That's the cream of Bhagavad Gita. And 13 to 18 relates to Jnana Yoga. So what we are discussing right now is from the Karma Yoga section, right? The first 6 chapters. So this chapter, actually I was going through all the shlokas. So the first 22 shlokas are so amazing. So all are important kind of shlokas. So the first shloka, I'll just share this. So the first shloka itself is Imam Vivasvate Yoga, right? So where Krishna, he says that this knowledge I am not giving it to you for the first time. I had given it to Sun God, right? Vivaswan, long time back. So that's the first shloka, first and second shloka. And then naturally, right, and so this flow goes naturally. So Arjuna asks, how do I understand this? You are telling, you are standing right in front of me, a 16-year-old person, right? Because Krishna was already quite old, but he always looked like 16 years old, even in the Mahabharata Yuga. So he was looking like 16-year-old, and he is saying that he has given this knowledge to Surya Dev Vivaswan lakhs of years ago. How do I understand that? So then Krishna again he explains naturally, right? He says that many births. So this is the shloka is Bahuni me vyatitani janmani chitavacharjuna tanyaham veta sarvani natyam veta parantapa. So he says here that many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. O subduer of enemy. So this is how Krishna is explaining so nicely that so I am not same as you. I am different. I am the supreme personality of God, and you have to understand that. And then he again goes ahead and he actually so after this, the most important shloka comes that I think has been recited everywhere, politically, everywhere in the serials as well. Anyone remembers what's the shloka? The two shlokas that come back to back. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvava. So Krishna tells the reason why he comes to this material world. So he gives in two shlokas he explains this. That is text number 7 and text number 8. Okay, and then so then Krishna also explains that what happens when person understands his janma and karma. So Krishna's janma and karma, when a person understands what happens, the one who understands Lord Krishna's advent never takes birth again. That's janma karma che me divyam evam yor viti tatvata. So all these are important shlokas back to back. And then also that in 4.11, right, Krishna says, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. So this is going ahead. Now, so now Krishna will explain why people follow demigods, why people worship demigods. So on the text 12, right? Text 12. So what Krishna says, men in this world desire success in fruitive activities and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get the result from the fruitive works in this world. So people who go to the demigods, they just want quick, quick reactions, right? Quick, whenever you want something quick, you go to the demigods. But of course, again in the future shlokas, right, Krishna will say, this is not the right path. You have to come to me only. Krishna, whatever you need. So there will be discussion about what kind of people who go to Krishna and what kind of people who don't come to Krishna. All those discussions will be taken. Okay, and the next one is again. This is a very important shloka in Bhagavad Gita where he says Chaturvarna Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Right? So he says, according to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human societies are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. So everyone understood this meaning, right? So, can anyone tell me why Krishna says, you should know that I am yet the non-doer? What does that mean?
Actually, there are three types of people, because I read Bhagavad Gita in my language, Oriya language. Because Raja, Satya and Tamaguna. So all the total material world, they are engaged with me. But I am the beyond of that.
Exactly.
So nothing will touch you. Whatever you do, you just do. But if you want to come, then you have to revert me, then you are coming to this
Exactly. So perfectly, Prabhuji. So Prabhuji has said that he has created all this Chaturvarna and he has created the material modes of nature, but he is not part of that. He is above that. Right? And one more thing, why he is calling it himself as non-doer? Because he is not putting a person into Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya and Shudra, right? He is not putting people. People are doing it as per their karma, as per their guna, they are actually segregated unto these four. Krishna is not making one person, okay, I'll pick one person, Prabhuji, I'll pick you and make you Brahmana. I'll pick that person Kshatriya. No, he is not doing that. It's according to our choices that we have done, the karma we have done, and the guna that we have. That's how we are divided into the four classes basically. So, can anyone tell me this Varna system, is this even applicable in today's world?
It is there, but it is not like that. Suppose if you are Shudra, if you love Krishna, then you are beyond to Brahman. And if you are a Brahmin, but you are doing that, you are eating chicken, you are killing the people or doing some intellectual sex, then you are
Worse than a Shudra. Yes, perfect. Anyone else want to try? So this four systems, right? The four divisions of human society. So Krishna here he mentions four divisions of human society. So these divisions of human society are applicable at any point of time. In the sense, right, even if a person does not believe in God, Okay, there will still be a world where there are intellectuals, right? There will be some scientists who will be actually making all the inventing all the stuff, right? And we, the normal people, will be using this. So the intelligent class will always be there. Then there will be an administrative class, right? People in police or in politicians, right? Those who like to administer things. They already have this kind of qualities. You will see that even the politicians or police, right? They have a different kind of how do you say uh, qualities in them. Normal person like you and I, right? You will see police people are generally little hard when you speak to them, right? Because they are administrative class of people. They have to be like that. Then your third class, third is third division. Basically, it's not a hierarchical division. Okay, you have to see it as a horizontal division. So the third division basically is Vaishyas. So Vaishyas are also there. You will see businessmen even now, right, in this world. There are businessmen who are people who are making money and people who are working for them. So these people, businessmen, they will consist of the Vaishyas. So we have to think it from that perspective. This Bhagavad Gita, right, it's not just a religious book. It's a book of humanity. So you have to understand that Krishna has given a guideline how this world actually is. So there will always be business class people, and there will be fourth class of people who will serve all these three. That is always there, right? Even the software engineers right now, they are serving some people, right? Some CEO that is in the company. So we are all kind of Shudras in that sense. Right? So there will always be these four kind of people. So that is always applicable regardless of you believe in God, you don't believe in God, you don't believe in religion, you don't believe in religion. These four divisions will always be there. So that's how Krishna explains this there. Okay, now 4.16 to 4.24, Krishna explains that understanding karma on the platform of knowledge. Okay, so the question comes like, what does Bhagavad Gita help you with? Right? What does Bhagavad Gita give you? Anyone? What does Bhagavad Gita do? Correct. So what is that called? That is called knowledge, right? The Bhagavad Gita gives you the knowledge of this material world and the spiritual world, right? How to get out of this material world, that knowledge is also given. So Bhagavad Gita is giving you knowledge. So even Krishna, even Arjuna, right? Arjuna before the war, he didn't have knowledge, and then Arjuna after the war, he got knowledge and he fought. Right? Even if he didn't have knowledge, he might have ended up fighting, right? So the difference was the knowledge that he got. And with this knowledge, what happens is, so one who works with the knowledge becomes free from the reactions. So in the previous classes, you might have heard about karma, vikarma, and akarma, right? Yes, Prabhu, you want to explain what does karma? What is the division between karma, vikarma, and akarma? Sakarma, basically karma means sakarma, and then vikarma, and then akarma. So okay, sakarma. Anyone? What is sakarma? Fruitive activities, right? In short, fruitive activities.
Given in the Shastra.
Correct. That is in accordance with the Shastras. What is Vikarma?
Not mentioned in the Shastra, you are doing your own.
Yes, against the Shastras, right? You go opposite. Then what is Akarma? Yeah, so okay, that is still Sakarma only. So one big factor in Akarma is doing devotional service to Krishna. So when you are doing devotional service to Krishna, you are not neither right nor wrong. So you won't get this punya karma, nor you will get pap karma. So you are free from any reactions. So why this is important is because the birth and death cycle, right? Cycle will the next janma. So now actually I'll go to our shloka, right? The 23rd shloka. गतसंगस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञात्वा वस्थित चेतसा यज्ञाचरत कर्म समग्र प्रविलीयते. So the work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature, who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge, merges entirely into the transcendent. So now actually Srila Prabhupada in the translation purport, right, he explains it beautifully. He says becoming fully Krishna consciousness, fully Krishna conscious, one is freed from all dualities and thus is free from contaminations of the material modes. So what is this duality Srila Prabhupada is talking about? Anyone?
Some Maya, confusion, illusions. So once you have come to the Krishna consciousness, then you are free from the materialistic world. Because there are four things. Means, how can I speak in English because there is devotional word. Krishna Lord have that way, some liquor, some illicit sex, and some other things. Because it is a very powerful, because you are a devotional to the Krishna. This is materialness is a sorrowful of life.
Okay, so you are close, Prabhuji. So duality basically in this material world means you will always have a positive and negative. And anything you do, you will always get one positive, one negative, right? In the material world. So actually, I was listening to Radheshyam Prabhu's lecture one. So he was telling, so this duality comes in three forms, right? One to the body, to the mind, and to the false ego. So to the body, it is Shitoshna, Shita and Ushna. Means Karmi and Thandi, how you call heat and cold, right? That is Shita and Ushna, that is to the gross body. Then Sukha and Dukha. This is for the mind, right? The mind will always sometimes be distressed, sometimes be happy. So that is the duality of mind. And Mana and Apman, that is the third duality, that is for your false ego. Because you will always feel sometimes you are getting some prestige or somebody is blaspheming you or making you feel down, right? So there is always this duality. Anything you do in this material world, there will be duality. That's why you sometimes see, right? There is one shloka that Prabhupada mentions here. Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shribi means Janma. Why do you see people sometimes they are in very good family. They are like born with a silver spoon when you see say, right. And then there will be some people who will be like very poor. That baby when you see it from an outside perspective, you will see that that baby has not done anything wrong, right? Why is that person born in such a rich family, and why is this baby born in such a poor family? Or you will see Aishwarya, right? Somebody very rich, somebody very poor, right? Shruta means education. Somebody is very educated, somebody is completely non-educated, right? Illiterate. And then Shri. Shri is basically beautiful. Somebody will be very beautiful and somebody will be not that beautiful, right? So these are dualities that will be there. But the reason for these dualities are basically our own karma, right? So what we do, what the actions that we do, depends on what we do and what consciousness we have. That is what will make your next birth, right? Whatever body you will take in the next birth will depend on what your actions are and what qualities you have. So that's how actually Krishna also explains here. So what will give you better body in the next life? If you do punya karma, you will get better body. All this janma, aishwarya, shruta, shri, you will get better if you do punya karma, right? And then when you do pap karma, you will again suffer all the consequences because of that. So even in Bhagavad Gita, right, in the Karma Kanda, there is a section where actually Krishna explains what do you have to do, what do you have to do to get all this better life, better body, better. So that is on in 14.18. Yeah. So here Krishna says, those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upwards to the higher planets, and those in the mode of passion live on earthly planets, and those in the abominable mode of ignorance go down to the hellish world. So Krishna explains here, if you want to go to the higher planetary system, what you have to do. If you still have to stay in this material world, what you have to do. If you want to go down, what you want to do. All this Krishna has explained, right? But the thing is, the devotees, they don't really want to go anywhere. So the devotees, they want to be with Krishna all the time. That's why Srila Prabhupada and even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has given such a beautiful process of chanting of the holy name, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the devotees, they just chant. They don't really hanker for anything. They don't really want to go to the this heavenly planets to enjoy. Right? So they don't really want to do all such fruitive activities. So there is one beautiful story on this. I already have passed the time, so I'll just quickly go through. So there is one beautiful story in this. So what happens is one rishi, he is going through a village, right? And he sees one king's son, so prince. He sees a prince. So when he sees a prince, he gives him a boon, like blessings. They give, right? The rishis, they give blessings. They say Rajaputra Chiranjeevi. So now all the disciples who are there next to him, right? They ask him, why did you say Chiranjeevi? Why do you tell him to live a long life? Then the rishi says that see, he is going to suffer, right? He is doing all fruitive activities, right? He is enjoying his sense enjoyment is so high that once he dies, right, he will be going to hellish planet. So I just told him, you live long enough, but then eventually when you die, you will be going to hellish planet, right? Then the second person, a Brahmana's son, comes in. Then the rishis, right? He says, Muni Putra Majiva. So Majiva means what? He says, you die now. So then all the disciples, they said that, why are you cursing him? Why are you asking him to die? So now the Rishi explains that, see, he is doing all the spiritual activities right now. Right, the Brahmanas, right? So since he is a young boy, he is doing all the activities. If he dies now, he will go back home, back to Godhead. Or probably he will go at least to the higher planetary systems, right? So I had to ask, that's why I told him to die. So that's why. Now they move ahead a little bit. So then now there is a butcher there. So butcher also comes to offer obeisances. So this Rishi says, Ma Jiva Ma Mara. He says, you don't live, you don't die. So now this all the people, they are again confused. Well, the students of the Rishi says, why are you saying that don't live, don't die? He says, if he is living, he will be causing hell for all the other animals, and if he die, he will be in hellish penance for a long time. So that's why I told him, you don't live, you don't die. And then last person he meets, the Rishi meets, is a devotee. Then devotee, he blesses Jehovah Morova, means you live or you die. That's your up to you. So then again the students, they ask, what does this mean? So he says that, see, if this devotee he lives, he will be spreading Krishna consciousness everywhere. He'll be making everyone devotees, right? And even if he dies, it's okay. He will go back home, back to Godhead. So there is no loss for him, right? So that's how actually we have to see that when we are in this mode of material nature, right? There are chances that we will always get contaminated by it. We will always be getting touched by it. So even if you are in the mode of goodness, where actually a Brahmana is, right? Brahmana is supposed to be in the mode of goodness. But even if you are in the mode of goodness, the chances are you will fall back down, because this modes, they'll keep on changing like even time wise, right? When you say morning is the time of mode of goodness, afternoon is the time of mode of passion, night is the time of mode of ignorance, right? These things will keep on changing, will keep on affecting your mind. So even being in mode of goodness is not good enough. We have to be spiritual, we have to be a devotee, right? We have to try to do devotional service. Right? So the real intelligence is basically how to stop this birth and death, the cycle of birth and death. So that's what actually is given here, right? So what he says, what Krishna says here is, so those who are fully situated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. So when Srila Prabhupada explains, right, consequently whatever he does for Krishna, who is primeval. Therefore all his work are technically sacrifices, because sacrifices aims at satisfying the Supreme Personal Vishnu Krishna. And the resultant reactions of all such work certainly merge into transcendent, and one does not suffer material effects. So this is a karma. The last time when we Srila Prabhupada talks about that, right? So any activities a devotee does, he might look like a normal activity for a normal person, but he is keeping Krishna in the center and doing all these activities. So as a result, there are no good karma, no bad karma. So once, the only way you get out of this material world is when you have that karma balance as zero. No good karma, no bad karma. That is the only way you can get out of this material world. So that's what actually Krishna says here, that you do devotional service, and as a result, there will be no good karma, bad karma, and then eventually you will go back home, back to Godhead. Right? Yeah, so one more thing, like I was mentioning, right, that the modes of material nature, it will always affect you. So this transcendental knowledge, when we talk about, it's up to us to gain that knowledge. So, for example, Srila Prabhupada again gives an example. Think about traffic rules, right? Somebody is coming to a new country, okay, and suddenly he gets into the road and he suddenly starts driving on the opposite side. The police is going to catch him, right? Catch him, and then he's going to fine him. He cannot give a reason saying that, oh, I didn't know the law. If you are in this place, you are expected to know the law, right? So that's how it works. Even when you are in this material world, you are expected to know, you expected to have this knowledge. You cannot say that, you cannot escape by saying, oh, I didn't know about it, and end up doing all the bad karmas, bad activities, right? You have to gain that knowledge, and then, only then, you will be able to go home, back to Godhead. And yeah, so last couple of things I'll say. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. These four things are common in this material world, right? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi is birth, death, old age, disease, right? Everyone has to go through this material world. Even the material world, the people will be having defects. What are the four defects? The four defects, you know, Prabhuji, what are the four defects? So four defects are basically, person is one is like he will commit mistake. Any person, he will be committing mistakes. then he will be illusioned, then he will be cheated, or he will cheat or he will be cheated, and he will be having imperfect senses. So this knowledge that we have to gain, we should not be gaining from any person on this material world. Where we should be gaining it from? We should be gaining it from Krishna himself, because Krishna is not part of this material world, right? Like Prabhuji also mentioned, he is not part of the modes of ignorance, these three modes of material nature. He is outside that. So whatever knowledge he gives will be perfect knowledge, and the knowledge that he gives will be from the Guru Shishya Parampara. Like we started this chapter with that, right? Krishna had given this knowledge first to the Suryadev Vivaswan, and then it was followed by the Guru Shishya Parampara. That's how we actually gain knowledge. And once we attain knowledge from the Guru Shishya Parampara, right, we will be able to get the realization also. So in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, again Bhagavad Gita chapter 9.2, I think, Krishna says, right, Rajavidya Rajagoyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshavagaman Dharmya Susukam Kartum Avyayam. What he says was that you will get direct perception of self by realization. This is what Krishna says, means you will get your direct perception. Once you start doing devotional service, you will get your own realization of why you are not this body, you are the spirit soul. And that is the first path of transcendental knowledge, that you are not this body, you are the spirit soul. Okay? So thank you everyone. Hare Krishna. I hope it was helpful, this class. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any questions here? Sorry, Prabhuji. Yeah. So, see, this is division of classes, bro. So anybody can do devotional service. You don't have to be a brahmana to be devotional to do devotional service. Like Prabhuji also mentioned, right? This 4 classes, that is not based out of your birth. Okay, so a brahmana son need not be a brahmana. If he is doing all abominable activities, he is worse than a shudra. Even a shudra son, if he is doing all the good activities, he is doing devotional service, right? Then he is better than a brahmana. So devotional service does not actually relate to any of those 4 classes. It is above. It is that when we say that they are above the modes of material nature. So that's how devotional service. It does not matter what state you are in right now. So you can be better devotee than even a good brahmana. That if you are doing your devotional service properly. Okay. Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.
So one question I can ask.
Yes.
Very important question. Actually, frankly speaking, people coming to this spiritual, that is Bhagavad Gita, as very materialistic. Crazy about that money, to earn money, to spend money like that, building cars, bank balance. But due to some sudden situations in I came to here, because of the COVID time, so there was a program of Mahabharata. So I decided that Nitish Bharat was playing the beautiful role of Lord Krishna. So I see that Bhagavad Gita, how he presented to Arjuna. So then I started that how to read Gita, then my friend he's in Pune Islam. 22 years is because if you have to read the Gita, then go for Islam Gita. It is affiliated.
Yeah.
So I read it. But now I fully much understand the situation, what is materialistic life, what is the spiritual life. And this some situation I was in my hometown for 1 year, then I came back to here. Office open forever. But now after seeing all the things, I'm thinking that whether I'm coming to this Maya or again Maya is capturing to me. Because after seeing this, people are after here because there that time it was not there. Here I'm coming, people are going to office, I'm also going to office. I have to do the extra money. Now this person has another car, now he's got a new car. So I'm thinking that my car is old. But before that I was not crazy about that. But if the vehicle I have, I'm satisfied. But after seeing this one, I'm also a little bit crazy. So things are coming to my mind. Then I think maybe the Maya is capturing me. So then I immediately asked Prabhu, just keep me away from the Maya, that the chanting the Harinam. So why it is happening?
So we are in this more material world, right? So like mentioned in the Shloka, right? This modes of material nature will always affect us. Okay. So now I'll give you one story about this. Okay. So this is applicable for both Grihasthas as well as Brahmacharis when you hear this. So this was a funny story that I heard. Okay. So there was one young Brahmana who was a Brahmachari. Okay. So he had one cowpea, he had 2 cowpeas and 1 towel. Okay. And he used to do his devotional service. He didn't have any material like how would you say, uh, money or stuff like that, right? All those things he didn't have. He had just his one towel and his two couplings, and he was doing his devotional service nicely. So one day, what happened? He took a bath and he was sitting outside near the bank of the river. Okay, and he had put his towel to dry. So while sitting, he was thinking, "Oh, wish I had one more towel. Then this towel would have like I would have to. I didn't have to wait for this towel. Okay, so I'll be doing devotional service continuously. Okay, because I had one additional towel. So now what happens was there is one sannyasi going across the, and he sees him. He said, "You don't think all these things. Sannyasis are like they already always have this energy, so they can think, they can see what you are thinking, so they will give you knowledge." So he said, "You don't think all those things. You just do your devotional service, whatever you are doing right now." But then he says, "Okay, whatever. He might not know what I am thinking." So he goes into the market, buys another towel. Okay, so the next day what happens? His old towel, right? The rat, they come and they eat up all this towel. Okay, so this old towel is gone. So now he is again in that first situation where he has only one towel, and the other towel, he is all the rat has eaten them. So now he is thinking, "Oh, wish what I could have done so that this towel I could have saved, the second towel." So he thinks, "I'll do one thing. I'll get a cat." Okay, so I'll get a cat. Cat will eat the rat, and then I'll have two towels. Okay, so now he gets a cat. So now, after getting the cat, now whenever he's sitting for doing some meditation, right? This cat is coming around and mewing and all those things. So now he's irritated. The cat is hungry. So now he has to get milk for that cat. So now he thinks, "What should I do? Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll get a cow. Cow will give milk. I'll give the milk to the cat. Cat will eat the rat, and I'll have two towels. I can be happy." Right? So now what happens is, okay, he goes to the market, gets a cow. So now he gets a cow. Now the cow, anyone who has cow in the hometown might know how much effort is there in keeping a cow, right? So now the cow is moving. It has to. You have to clean the cow. You have to give a bath. You have to feed the cow. So now he is thinking, "Oh, what should I do now?" So now what happens is a few of the villagers, they come. They say, "You do one thing. You get married." Okay. Now the wife will be there. The wife will take care of the cow. The cow will give milk. You will give the milk to the cat. The cat will eat the rat, and you will be happily doing devotional service. Okay. So now, okay, he says, "Okay, now I'll get married." So he goes and gets married. So now he has wife. Now wife comes. Of course, the wife will have her own demands, right? She needs a house, proper house. He was living in a small hut. Now she doesn't like that hut. She needs a proper house, and then she needs children. So now, after all this, now he doesn't have any time to do any devotional service. He has to feed the house, like kids and the wife, right? So now he started working. So one day he's sitting outside, and the same sannyasi, right, who had come and told him, "Don't think about the towel," he comes around and he says, "See, I told you, what are you doing? So what is your condition?" So this is an example for all of us, Prabhuji. So what happens is we should be happy with what we have. So even Bali Maharaj and Vaman Dev, right? Vaman Dev, when Bali Maharaj says that I am the king of this whole world, right? I can give you more than a whole kingdom. Why are you asking three steps? So Vaman Devi says, if a person is not happy with three steps, he will not be happy when he gets the whole world. Right? So that's how we have to think. We should be happy with whatever Krishna gives us. It's not about not doing any work, right? You do your prescribed duties. But the thing is, you shouldn't be hankering for too much. Right? That is the problem. Once we start hankering for too much, right, then our devotional service will go haywire. I hope I explained you that point.
I'm in control. Yeah. But I'm thinking that should not be change my mind because I'm in but my already I'm in focused. I'm not thinking whatever I heard that I'm in the devotional service, spiritual life. So this is the materialistic because earlier I was there very crazy about that, but now I'm not doing that. But sometimes I'm thinking that coming to this Bangalore because Bangalore is like that very means dreamy kind of city. Yes, something is attracting me there. This person is whatever he has, maybe he's attracting. I saw these buildings, these cars, this beautiful women, so many things. Whether it is attractive, that time I made it no. So Hare Krishna, please keep away from this Maya. So because I think that it should not be come to me.
So that's not going to happen. It will always come because mind again is material, right? Our body is made up of eight things: Bhumi, Apa, Anala, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhir, Evacha. So mind, intelligence and false ego is again material. So if it's material, they will be influenced by the three modes. So it's up to the soul, right? Soul is the only thing that is pure. Whatever the soul desires, then everything will be done. Like Krishna will take care of that. But if you do not desire, if you get enamored by these things, right, then Maya will pull you on her side. Right? So it's up to us. Like you said, right? Only option for us is to pray Krishna, like you are doing. You have to pray Krishna that you try to, like, you keep me away from Maya. Only then you will be away from Maya. Otherwise, it is going to be, if you are going to try it with your own efforts, it's going to be very difficult and almost impossible unless you are doing Ashtanga Yoga and you try to control all your senses. But it's going to be very difficult. Basically, only Bhakti Yoga, you can do it easily, overcome Maya.